Martin is an e-commerce founder. He sells apparel. His main ideal customer profile is men and women, and he's competing with some of the top apparel brands in the space. Now, Martin has invested thousands of dollars into agencies, but for some reason, he keeps churning every single agency after 90 days. He's worked with the top agency brands from different spaces on Twitter, on LinkedIn, you can name it. The biggest bottleneck Martin feels working with agency to agency is a lack of communication, there's a lack of goal setting and objectives, there's a lack of optimizing pure profit. And Martin has gotten burned by loads of agencies in the past because either the agency is outsourcing to junior media buyers or outsourcing to different individuals that don't know anything about the business. Now, Martin is confused. He's contemplating whether he should work with other agencies or if he should just bring operations in-house. Such cases, I've had dozens and dozens of calls with a ton of D2C founders, and they are in the same position as Martin. They have market fit, they have a really good brand, but for some reason, every time they work with the agency, it's just a negative experience. The question to you is, at what point do you say, I'm done working with ad agencies, let me build this in-house? I can tell you that it does require some guts, it requires some balls to build in-house, but if I compare e-commerce in a business that is doing 7 figures a year compared to a SaaS tech company, SaaS companies have all their operations in-house, marketing and sales. So if I compare both brands or both scenarios, right? You have an e-commerce brand that's heavily reliant on outsourcing to agencies, and then you have a SaaS company who has operations built in-house. Yeah, sure, the agency or the e-commerce brand that outsources to agencies could see some immediate cash flow because the agency they hired is optimizing for Facebook ads. They're just doing a heavy retargeting, heavy lookalike audiences, heavy interest-based targeting. But if I compare that to the SaaS company that does take more time to build in-house, they have a lean, efficient team. Everybody's under one single umbrella. All of their contractors, all their employees are only working with this brand alone. They're not working with other companies. Whereas with the e-commerce brand, the agency they hired has to maintain profit. So that agency is going to work with 5 to 10 other brands or 10 other clients so that they can survive for their own business model. Now, I've used to run an agency in the past. I know how this game works. My goal here is not to vilify agencies. Yeah, sure, agencies can get you to a certain point, but you shouldn't be reliant on them at past $1 million a year in revenue. The goal should always be build it in-house. You're going to reap more benefits when you choose to build operations in-house. You now have a system in place to build in-house, and you have a team under one single umbrella, under one single unified goal. And apart from that, let's say you do want to exit your company in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years. When you're trying to sell your company to an investor or to an M&A individual who's buying companies, what they want to see at the end of the day is they want to see profitable front-end CPA. They want to see high frequency of returning buyers with an LTV. And then apart from that, they want to know at the end of the day, all operations are in-house compared to just solely relying on ad agencies or outsourcing. So here's a pathway you need to implement in 2024 if you want to have a chance of exiting your business. Now, what if I told you that building in-house is easy as only hiring 5 individuals or 5 employees to reach possibly even 8 figures in 6 months? Now, you've been lied to. From agency gurus, online gurus selling a course, consultants who've never ran an e-com brand, flashy marketers who operate on shit margin. The ancient methodology of running a business, especially from 2019 to 2022, where it was quite possibly the best economic time before now we're in a looming recession, but the ancient methodology has always been you need heavy VC capital and you need to work with 4 to 6 different ad agencies to scale. You can afford to outsource your marketing and creative department, and as a byproduct, you can afford to acquire new customers at a net loss and bank on LTV to make a profit. Now, I'm not bashing people that operated on these principles because this was the golden era of e-commerce, right? There was a lot of brands that were in this cycle that launched and just simply put, operated on debt, operated on future cash flow. Now, I can tell you that the brands that were following those principles now are struggling. They're on the brink of filing for bankruptcy because anyone and everybody could have launched a brand during this time. There's less competition in the market. We had stimulus checks flooding the market. And then as well, people were stuck inside their homes because of government lockdowns. So this forced majority of shopping done into online retail. So now majority of brands, I don't care whether you're a brand doing less than $1 million a year revenue, brand doing $1 million a year revenue, or brand doing $10 million a year in revenue. Majority of the brands that we've managed saw unexpected periods of growth, even up to as close to 100x compared to the years prior. Now, what changed? We're on an economic cycle of downturn. we're in a looming recession. We are in an economic cycle of downturn and in a looming recession. There is more competition than ever before in e-commerce. The cost to acquire attention is more expensive than ever before, and scaling a brand requires actual skill and capital efficiency. So if I were to show you the principle or the protocol or the way to scale and build all of this in-house, let's dive in. Because it's broken down to 4 phases, right? If I'm looking to generate a profit and I want to have as much cash flow possible, so then when I look at my P&L sheet at the end of every month, that profit that I'm aiming for is growing month over month over month. Now, it's pretty simple. I want to keep this as simple as possible so anybody who's watching this video can implement it. The first phase is ultimately we want to raise the perceived value of our product in the market. So a lot of brands right now that are struggling are just pushing one single SKU and baking on LTV to make a profit. But offers are saturated, the discount codes applied are saturated, free shipping is almost offered across any single offer. And what's proven still to work to this day is ultimately free. Now, instead of just offering discounts or shipping or even just BOGO offers to our customers, we want to incentivize our customers to raise the overall AOV. Because the great thing is when you create bundles, you're actively training customers to spend over $100 plus with you. Especially with paid ads, you're able to filter out who's going to land on that landing page so that ideally our ideal customer profile who's never heard about our brand comes across our products, sees the bundles, and now we want to reduce the friction because now we have more margin or gross margin to play with. So now instead of just offering a generic discount code or free shipping, we offer stack the front end. So we're going to offer free shipping, warranty. When you buy 2, you get 1 free, or you buy 4, you get 2 free based off your unit economics. We want to make sure we have at least 70% unit economics gross margin or net profit that we're trying to optimize for as far as gross margin, right? So when it comes to gross margin, aim for 70%, and whatever your unit economics is, your net margin, we want to at least maintain 20% net margin pure profit. So then now, regardless of your break-even CPA, right, you have 20% net profit for every sale you have. So now you're in a possible positive cash flow state from first active customers. Now, the great thing is with bundles, you want to attract higher value customers to spend more money and raise the overall LTV. That's the purpose of bundles, right? You offer stack, you get the AOV above $100. You can do free shipping, warranty, and then you buy X, you get Y free. So you're saving X amount in total value. Your gross margin is at 70%, your net profits at least minimum 20% based off your COGS. You're acquiring first order profit, and then from there you can downsell or upsell customers based off what they just purchased within the bundle. Now the second phase or the secondary phase is pretty simple. Focus on one single channel before diversifying. And then from there, the third phase, which is pretty simple, is I come from an agency background, come from building a creative agency. You only need a creative strategist and you only need an editor on your team to pump out up to 100 testable ads every given month. Now, the great thing is with the creative strategist, they come in, they write the briefs, they send it to the editor goes in and pretty much handles post-production. And then from there, we can maximize profit efficiency by having our competitive advantage because the founder is now focused on higher revenue driving activities versus pretty much in day-to-day operations. So then the in-house team structure, what does that look like? Well, you have 1 or 2 full stack media buyers handling Meta, Google, and then maybe a third channel. From the creative standpoint, you have a creative strategist writing content briefs, content ideas, the editor handles that in post-production. And then on the back end, you have customer relationship management who's constantly touching base with customers to get information on, okay, what other offers can we build? And then from there, you pretty much are on track to hit 7 figures a year. And the pathway is pretty simple. Become the most expensive in the market. Focus on one single channel that's super profitable. And then from there, you diversify. You're building your in-house team of creatives in-house with just creative strategists and an editor. From there, you have a media buyer leading the reins of what needs to be tested. And then you're just removing founder from day-to-day operations. You have profitable unit economics on the front end. And then from there, you have strong LTV. So now the founder can be removed. Now you're set up where you can exit your company, and regardless, you're diversified. So if you want to understand, you want to check out the full protocol thesis, I did a whole 30-page white paper on this breakdown. Check out scalevelocity.io where you can see the video I broke down, the exact protocol we use across our portfolio of brands, the 34-page white paper I've made that goes super high level in depth. And then from there, if you're interested or you want to skip the process, right, you have a DGC brand, right, but you want to build a house for an exit, you want to expedite the whole entire timeline, feel free to book in a call with me and I'll see if you're a good fit for what we do. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.